to it. No. So what happened? Because, we always talk about how it's important for everybody to go vote. And I'm a very, very important advocate in regards to going out and participating on your local level. Because most importantly, those are people that's going to affect you today. Like you mentioned, your roads and stuff like that. And then you got your commissioners, the people that actually deal with the budgets of actually saying, here's the money for the roads. And you got a whole spectrum of things that affect you. If you actually involve yourself with local politics, then you can go into the next parts. But it really shows that your vote really does count, right? I know your campaigning going around was probably difficult because you're dealing with a lot of us that's saying my vote don't matter. Then you got to do the whole education thing all over again.
And I understand, to be transparent, I understand both sides when, growing up, it's not. So I remember when we used to have a little bit more restaurants. I mean, Magnolia used to be vibrant. And as we got older, it declined. So I understand when people say, well, why do we need to vote? Because we're still in the same place. We're in the worst place. We in a 42% poverty rate among Blacks in our county. So, I understand why people get frustrated. Like, why do I need to vote? Because life is not even better than it was 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. But on the flip side, your vote does matter. But we need to go past encouraging to vote. Yes, you need to vote, but you need to get engaged.
There you go, Doctor.
I'm getting it out there. You need to figure out if you want to run for office. If you don't want to run for office, how can you help me? How can you help Vice Mayor Gwen McKenzie? How can you help a school board representative Everett Satterfield? That's where we have to come together and really figure out how do we help our community, because I can't do that by myself. So there's a vote coming up that's going to affect District 1. If my people ain't sitting in that room like, hey, we're supporting Dasha, we want her to vote this way, then I'm stuck over here advocating by myself.
Trevor? What you got? Because
that's a fact.
You're one of them people I heard say that. I'm calling them out. I'm straight up snitching.
No, see, I think that people need to vote on the local level though, but my thought process was on a presidential level. You know what I mean? With the state of Tennessee, I feel like in the state of Tennessee, even though you can either way you go, you know what I'm saying, but you can go Democrat or Republican in the major part of the voting, like the presidential voting, but you're gonna lose if you voting on one side. It's automatic. It's a red state all around the board though. But I got a question for Dasha though that I want to ask. I've been hearing Tennessee doesn't have state taxes. How do they fix the sidewalks in the streets and do all the special assessments and stuff in Knoxville without a state tax?
Well, that comes, basically property tax and revenues from businesses and everything else. That's how we get our revenue streams, basically property taxes. Then you have bonds and stuff like that helps build communities. So
yeah, how they raise money? They raise that money to get that money for Western Heights. They actually selling bonds and stuff like that and making things.
Well, yeah, the money for Western Heights will come from your national level. That's HUD money.
Yeah. See, it's a whole, but it's important to show that you out there involved with doing it. So, and a lot of people may say they should look, because in the areas, first of all, every time we get a Black politician in the areas representing Black people, we already know the strikes against you already sometimes, so you got to walk a thin line. And then you got a situation where previous people that you're replacing and other folks behind that, they got questionable paths to be where now you got to come in and show why you are important, why you work, why your platform will be in benefit. And then you got to do the education about why it's important that you show up at these meetings, because people don't understand that you can actually go. Trevor mentioned this last week. He asked about, we talked about how people don't want to, they don't see the presence of these people, like politicians like yourself or people that represent civil servants. You don't see them, but people don't understand that you can actually go to these forums where they make it a local area where you can just go to. You can go to any board meeting anytime you want and sit in the audience and actually get up and talk. General public.
Yeah, and then you can contact me. My number is published. I have email. I'm on Facebook. So, we are accessible. And that's one thing I want to be accessible to people.
Well, shout out to our local, I'm sorry, Dasha, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's all I was going to say. People can reach out. It's not this separation between the politicians. I don't think I'm on this pedestal. This is just the time that, God, I feel like God put me in this place. And I have to be a good steward of that. Well, we're going to have church